Like the last Matthew, I suppose when you guys are dominating that first half, do you feel like maybe you just need to maybe put them away a bit more and you sort of pay for that sort of in the second half?
Yeah. In the end, we just didn't take our opportunities. So scoreboard pressure, we didn't add any, and in a very low-scoring game, it just took a couple of moments in the second half that didn't go our way, and the game's on again. So really pleased the way we attacked it and we came to play, but against the top side, you got to put them away. And yeah, there's a pretty disappointed locker room at the moment, knowing that's how the game played out.
Obviously, it's pretty cold weather. What was the conditions like out there for the boys? Were they struggling, I suppose, with how icy it was?
No, I don't think so. I think both teams. It was slippery. It's a dewy. Obviously, there's no doubt it was a slippery, wet game. So that's a challenge when it comes to finishing your work off. And we dominated it front of centre, as you mentioned. We played the game where we wanted to play the game. But maybe we were in there for too long, and there were just too many numbers back there to score. But I think we kicked 0 goals 8 or thereabouts from front of centres, and just one of those nights that, in the end, we just did not put the scoreboard pressure on when we needed to.
Do you go away with the positives as well? I guess testing the top 6 side for the second time in as many weeks, but like I say, just the little execution there you need to fix to get it done again.
Yeah, I mean, we have to take the positive from the first half. I think our contest, our tackle, the pressure we brought, the way we played around stoppage, there were a lot of positives in it. It's hard and it's interesting because from one week to the next, last week we get across the line by a kick, and the locker room's a good place to be around. The boys are they're disappointed, they're competitors, as are we as a coaching group, and I'm sure our supporters are disappointed as well, and it's one of those things with sport. One kick can be the difference, but we know we've got to be better in that first half again, and that's really just our finish.
You said after last week's game you might be a little bit lucky to get that one. This one was probably the opposite. You kicked 1 goal 7, I think, in the second half, and the Lions didn't take their chances last week, so it's a little bit of the opposite effect this weekend.
I reckon it was a bit of karma. And I guess we got to be able to take that, go away and learn from it. We'll take a bit out of the second half. There were some key moments that we're working in that space at the moment. We understand how important it is you've got to get it right for 4 quarters to beat the best sides. We did that reasonably well last week, as you said, probably a bit of luck. This week we did that not quite as well and didn't take the luck. So look at ones.
Berry as well. He had a really good game on Newcombe, especially in the first half, and that's where Jai just managed to grab that last goal. Just a bit unfortunate for him in the end there.
Key moments, small little things. I thought Berry was a real positive for us, and has been now for a period of time. He's, that match-up tonight was a really big match-up. He's a high-level footballer, Newcombe, and so, for him to do a really strong job in that for majority of the night, I think is a really good sign for him going forward.
Just in terms of creating your own chances, do you feel like maybe the ball movement going inside 50 was a bit slow and allowed them to maybe set up defensively and sort of limit the quality of opportunity you guys were actually able to achieve?
I probably try to mention that. That's when you keep the ball inside your forward half for so long, numbers are back there, and it becomes difficult, that balance between using the ball short, finding an uncontested mark. It's pretty tough in those conditions, especially when it's wet like it is. So we were trying to balance that. We had a conversation around that at half time. Our ability when we had an opportunity to go in a little faster and put them under some more pressure, but the way the first half played out, we're in there a lot, and it was tough for us to do that. So, again, that's an area that we've got to keep working on. We'd love to play that way each week. It's an area, though, we've got to be better in. We have to convert more than that, otherwise the game's wide open in the second half.
In the night game, I guess, with 2 teams that are usually well known for their high-octane attack, I guess, and you've played here in the afternoon before in recent times. Do you feel like there should be night games down here at this time of the year, or would you rather have an afternoon game for the spectacle?
Couldn't have got a better night for it, could we? It was beautiful. Like today was a magnificent day, and it's a little fresher than what it is back in Melbourne and Adelaide. But it was a great night for footy. Night games are often slippery, often dewy. That was times 10 out there tonight, so it'll be interesting. I think it'll often be a wet game, but we play in a lot of wet games, so you've got to get used to that through that sort of June, July period.
I suppose, obviously, you can't speak too much. I suppose the politics of it, with the Devils thing in the background. Do you hope to see the Devils come into the competition, hopefully get the player thing maybe more Friday night games here and stuff like that?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of what the AFL are trying to do to grow our game in this country, try and take our game to become a national game. And I spent a lot of time in Sydney, and so I know it can be grown in different states, and it doesn't need to be grown here. It's just an opportunity. Tassie's, they love their footy down here, the Tasmanians, so that's only my opinion.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.